Welcome to the Registered Investment Advisor Podcast, where financial services marketing expert Seth Greene interviews experts, executives, and top producers to share can't-miss tips on how they successfully manage their financial service firms, grow their businesses, create great relationships, and influence the industry. And now, here's your host, Seth Greene.
Welcome to the podcast. This is your host, Seth Greene. Today, I've got the good fortune to be joined by Todd Hausberger at Family First Life over at Fenix Financial. Todd, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Seth. Appreciate it, man.
Absolutely. Let's go back in time a little bit. How did you get into the business in the first place?
I started off with a captive agency back in 2003, and I spent about 17 years there on and off. So, yeah, pretty much right out of college, been in the insurance game.
And then what inspired you to go on this path?
So I had a buddy of mine that I'd known for 17 years that came over to Family First Life, and he was having some success. And then I had a couple other buddies that I knew really well that came over as well. And they were just making 2 to 3 times more money than I was being independent instead of being with the captive agency. So that was one reason. But then also where we came from, we didn't really sell life insurance. It was more like cancer policies and stuff. And we actually knocked on doors, man, went door to door for 17 years. So
God bless you. I started out in the business doing that as well. I remember the pain very well. So tell us a little bit about Family First Life.
Yeah, man. I think it's been just kind of a perfect fit for me. Also, we've kind of recruited a little bit of an all-star team, from that other company, because it's kind of like the Matrix, right? We took the red pill and we can actually now, the blinders are off. And I work just as hard as I did over there. But within my first full year here, I probably did, made more than twice as much than I did over there. But the biggest thing for me was my goal, my dream was always to be an agency owner. And 17 years at the other company, I had the most direct reports I ever had was 12 agents. The most we ever did in an entire year was, about 600 families or so, protected, all that jazz. And then coming over here, my very first year, I think we had 141 agents that sold a policy, protected a family. And then we did about 3.4 families protected first 4 years. So it's just nuts, man.
That's a huge difference. What do you attribute that success to?
I didn't take a magic pill or read a special book or anything like that. I wish that I could, say that there was some shortcut, but I've always been a hard worker. I've always outworked everybody else. But the system that we have here, which I'm sure there's other IMOs out there that are kind of built similarly, but the system that we have here, it's built for speed and it's built for growth. Being able to work off of leads, not knock on doors anymore, being able to offer agents what they're actually worth. We would start, you might relate to this and you might not, but we would start agents off at a 30% comp at the other company I was with. And over here, I don't think I've started an agent off any lower than 110%. So, that's almost 4 times in their starting comp, which is nuts.
Yeah, that's a huge difference. Yeah, when I started 20 plus, back in the late 90s, we got 40%. So I totally remember that.
You can relate, yeah.
Yes, went independent, instantly more than doubled my paycheck, not counting the fact that I could do the marketing I wanted that the prevention department, the compliance department wouldn't let me do at the other place.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. Been there. So talk a little bit about how you've grown since then. You talked about the first year, which was a huge difference. And obviously you've been there longer than that.
Not too much longer, man. It's just been about a year and a half, actually.
Oh, wow. I didn't realize you did all of that in that short period of time. That's amazing.
Yeah. So, and I tell a lot of people, again, nothing special. It's just when you take somebody that's on after 17 years, I'd worked my way up to a 70% comp, so I was crushing it over there. And you take somebody and you can literally double their comp overnight. Then you can actually sit down with at least 2 to 3 times more people every single week. It really was just like pouring gas in the fire, this, and it reinvigorated my goal and my dreams of becoming an agency owner and actually being able to, lead agents and take them to a place where they could actually provide for themselves financially. Whereas where I came from, more times than not, man, they would leave in a worse financial situation than when they started, which was just soul crushing.
Yeah, absolutely. So with all the success you've achieved and everything that's changed now for you, what's your biggest challenge now?
Biggest challenge now is, well, I guess there's a couple. I guess probably the biggest challenge though is just being happy with where I'm at. Because if I look back at the numbers that I'm doing now, going from 600,000 families protected to 3.4 million families protected. But over here, it's like, I wouldn't say below average, but it's about average, which is just like mind boggling, because out of the agencies at the other company, I'd be within the top 5, but over here, I'm like maybe within the top 100, I think, maybe, so I think it's just being happy with where I'm at and the growth that I'm having. And
although you still might, although it's good that you are no longer, I'm paraphrasing, one of the most successful guys in the room. Now you've got bigger fish to look up to, right? You just got to avoid that trap of always comparing yourself to someone further ahead than you and making yourself feel bad. You got to take time to enjoy the win.
Yeah, it was like going from a pond to the ocean, right? From like 1,200 agents with this other really small company to I think we contracted like 20,000 last year or something crazy.
That's a big difference.
Yeah. So but it's good because I didn't realize, Seth, how unhappy I was until I actually left, because I had resorted to, okay, I'm just going to be a salesperson for the rest of my life, which is fine. Not that there's anything wrong with that. But again, I'd given up my goals, given up my dreams. So just, coming over here, I'm just I'm happy again,
Absolutely. All right. So talk to us a little bit about the team you've built under you now.
So I've got 2 vice presidents, and then I've got 2 others that are coming up to be vice presidents within our, promotional guidelines and stuff like that. And it just really is when you're going to build an agency, build it fast, build it large, you really have to pass that dream off to them. They have to rally around that, right? You can't just do it all on your own. So I think we've been really good at being able to accomplish that with, yes, I'm recruiting, full-time 24/7, but also I've got my vice presidents, my other managers that are also recruiting and see the dream and have the vision and where they want to end up,
How do you manage that process? How do you make sure that everyone's doing what they're supposed to be doing, when they're supposed to be doing it, for whom they're supposed to be doing it at the right time?
Yes. So where I came from before, I would coddle them and I would baby them and, give them money and let them shadow me for a month or 2 months, do anything I could, to hope that they wouldn't quit. They'd sell a couple policies before they did quit. Over here, I don't want to sound say it the wrong way, but you either get on the rocket ship or you get left behind type of a deal, And I love that because for those that are hopping on board, I build and I grow around them and I pour into them and I spend my time with them. And for those that aren't, I still love them. I'm not going to cut them loose or anything like that, but I'm not going to dedicate my time or spend a lot of time with those folks that don't have the same goals, the same dreams that we do as an agency.
Yeah, absolutely. How are you marketing to get more, agents in the door?
So warm market, well, I guess I'm going on 20 years now in the industry. Warm market has just always been the best, but we've done some Facebook campaigns, some ZipRecruiter campaigns. There's Integrity Marketing Group actually purchased Family First Life here about 2 years ago. And then that's kind of an exit strategy for a lot of the agency owners over here. So they also had a campaign that they're kind of reconfiguring as of right now. But anywhere and everywhere, right? You're taking an Uber driver. Hey man, how much money are you making? You go to a restaurant and somebody's really sharp that's waiting on you. Hey, you doing this for the money, or you doing this for the experience?
Absolutely. Your passion's obvious. What do you like best about what you're doing?
Man, well, the money is great. Obviously, probably wouldn't be in the industry if it wasn't. But I had my best sales year, about 200 families, the first 12 months that I was here. So, I mean, to be able to protect that many more families personally, but then also within my agency is just absolutely huge, because then you're able to put families in a much better spot. Whereas when I was in that little bitty pond, now, obviously, granted, like in 17 years, obviously we helped, a lot of families and stuff, but still, like on the scale that we can help people now and help our clients now, we're in a whole different universe,
Absolutely. For our folks who are watching and listening and want to learn more, where is the best place for us to send them?
I mean, I'm pretty much on every platform. Cell phone number 615-431-9554. Todd Hausberger or FFL Fenix on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. I mean, you name it. I'm all across the board,
Awesome. We know your time's invaluable. We appreciate you spending some with us. It's been Seth Greene with Todd Hausberger of Family First Life Fenix. Thank you so much for joining us, Todd.
Hey, thank you, man. I really appreciate it. It was a lot of fun.
Thanks, everybody, for watching and listening. We'll talk to you or see you next time.